My girlfriend insisted her sister move in with us for just a few weeks. 6 months later, I came home to find they'd turned my office into her art studio. I replied, "Great idea." Then, I called a mover and put all my own belongings in a new apartment. The lease they were left with was unbreakable. I, 31 male, am sitting in my new apartment right now, watching the absolute meltdown happening via text messages. But let me start from the beginning. Been with my girlfriend Celeste, 29, for 3 years. We moved into a nice 2-bedroom apartment together about 18 months ago. Rent's $2,400 a month. I pay $1,600 since I make more. She covers $800. My name's on the lease as primary. She's listed as occupant. Important detail for later. 6 months ago, Celeste's younger sister Harmony, 24F, showed up at our door with 2 suitcases and tears streaming down her face. Her roommate situation fell through, and she needed a place to crash for just a few weeks while she found something new. I wasn't thrilled. Harmony's an artist, the kind who's never sold anything but posts constantly about her creative process. She'd visited before and always left our place a disaster. But Celeste was begging, promising it would be temporary, saying family helps family. 2 weeks, max 3, Celeste promised. She'll be looking for places every day. Fine. I caved. Harmony moved into our living room. Week 1, she took over the entire living room with her stuff. Easels, paint supplies, canvases everywhere. I couldn't even watch TV. Week 3, still no apartment hunting. When I brought it up, Celeste said Harmony was processing trauma from her last living situation and needed more time. Month 2, I came home to find Harmony had rearranged our kitchen to make room for her sculpting materials. Qley. Everywhere. In my kitchen where I cook. Month 3, the bathroom became her personal darkroom for developing photos. I literally had to schedule my showers around her artistic process. Month 4, they started treating me like the intruder. If I complained about the mess, I was stifling creativity. If I asked about apartment hunting, I was rushing the healing process. If I wanted to use my own living room, I was not being supportive. Month 5, I realized Harmony hadn't paid a dime toward utilities, food, or anything. When I brought this up to Celeste, she said I was being petty about money and that Harmony contributes in other ways. What ways? Her positive creative energy. Then came last Monday, the 6-month mark. I work in IT, fully remote. My second bedroom is my office. It's where I have my whole setup. Dual monitors, standing desk, server rack, gaming PC, the works. About $15,000 worth of equipment, all mine. Came home from a client meeting to find my office completely ransacked. No transformed. My desk, gone, pushed against the wall. My monitors, disconnected and stacked in the corner. My server rack, moved to the hallway closet. Instead, the room was full of easels, paint splatter drop cloths, and Harmony's installations. The walls, my walls, had paint samples all over them. Direct on the wall. Not on paper. On the wall. Harmony was in there, painting, music blasting. Celeste was beside her, holding up fabric samples. Surprise, Celeste said. We figured since you can work from anywhere with a laptop, Harmony could use this space for her studio. Isn't it great? She's so inspired. I stood there for maybe 10 seconds. Processed it. These two had destroyed my office, the one space in this apartment that was exclusively mine, without even asking. Great idea, I said, completely calm. They looked confused by my lack of reaction. Really? Celeste asked. Absolutely, Harmony needs her space to create. They actually high-fived each other. The entitlement was breathtaking. I went to the hallway closet, carefully unplugged my server rack, and started making calls. Update 1. The plan came together faster than expected. Turns out when you're willing to pay, things move quickly. First, I found an apartment. 1 bedroom, same building, 2 floors up. $1,900 month. Available immediately. Signed the lease that Tuesday. Second, I hired movers. Scheduled for Thursday while both Celeste and Harmony would be out. Celeste at work, Harmony at her gallery opening. Translation, her friend's coffee shop was letting her hang 2 paintings. Wednesday night, I acted completely normal. Even brought home takeout for everyone. Celeste kept gushing about how supportive I was being. Harmony actually said, "See, I knew you'd come around to understanding art." Thursday morning, I left for a client emergency. The movers arrived at 10 a.m. My instructions were specific. Take everything that's mine. And I mean everything. My office equipment, obviously. My living room TV and gaming consoles. My kitchen appliances. Coffee maker, air fryer, Instant Pot, microwave. All mine from before we moved in together. My couch and coffee table. I bought them. My bedroom furniture, bought before Celeste. My streaming device, router, and modem. Even my shower curtain and bathroom rug. The movers were thorough. By 2 p.m., everything I owned was in my new apartment. I left 3 things. 1. Celeste's clothes and personal items. 2. Harmony's entire art collection. 3. A printed note on the kitchen counter. The kitchen now lacking all appliances. The note read, "Celeste, you were right. Harmony needs space to create. I've decided to give you both all the space you need. The apartment is yours and hers. For the remaining 8 months on the lease. Rent is due on the 1st. P.S. The Wi-Fi equipment was mine, so you'll need to call the internet company. Best of luck with the art." Then I waited. 4:47 p.m., first text from Celeste. "What happened? Where is everything?" p.m. "This isn't funny. Bring our stuff back now." 5:00 p.m., "I'm calling the police." 5:45 p.m., "The landlord says you removed yourself from the lease, but I'm still responsible for rent. What did you do?" 6:15 p.m., "Harmony is having a panic attack. How could you do this?" 6:30 p.m., voicemail from Harmony. "You're a monster. You can't just steal everything. My studio space is ruined without the furniture. I need that desk." 7:20 p.m., text from Celeste. "The police say you took your own property. How is everything yours? Here's the beautiful thing about being meticulous with finances. I keep receipts. Every single item I took, I had proof of purchase from before we moved in together or with my sole credit card. The apartment came unfurnished. We furnished it with my stuff." Celeste called 23 times that night. Harmony called 19. I didn't answer once. Update 2. The entitlement escalation has been spectacular. Day 2 post-move, Celeste showed up at my new apartment. Don't know how she found it. Probably saw me in the hallway. Banged on the door for 20 minutes. "I know you're in there. Your car's downstairs." I didn't answer. She left crying. Day 3, I got a text from Celeste's mom Eleanor. "This is cruel and unusual. Celeste tells me you left her with nothing. No furniture, no internet, no way to cook food. How could you be so heartless?" I responded. "Eleanor, I left Celeste with exactly what she contributed to our shared space. Her personal belongings. She's welcome to furnish the apartment herself. Also, Harmony's been living there for free for 6 months. Perhaps she can contribute. Harmony is an artist. She doesn't have money for furniture. Me. Then perhaps she should get a job instead of converting other people's offices into art studios without permission." Got blocked immediately. Day 4. The flying monkeys arrived. Mutual friends started reaching out. The story Celeste was spinning was that I randomly robbed her and left her homeless. I sent them all the same response. A photo of the lease showing her as occupant. Responsible for rent. And a screenshot of her text from 3 months ago saying, "It's basically Harmony's apartment too now. She's family." Most stopped responding after that. Day 5, a letter slipped under my door. From Harmony. 3 pages of absolute delusion. Some highlights. "You've destroyed my career trajectory. That space had perfect lighting for my art. You're legally obligated to provide for us since we're domestic partners. What? I'm going to sue you for sabotaging my upcoming gallery show." "What gallery show? You owe me compensation for the emotional damage." I kept the letter. My lawyer friend said it would be hilarious to frame. Day 6, Celeste tried a different approach. Sent a long text about how we could work this out and maybe I could move back and we could start fresh. But only if I brought all the furniture back and apologized to Harmony for overreacting. I replied, no. Day 7, the landlord called me. Apparently, Celeste tried to break the lease claiming uninhabitable conditions. He laughed and told her the apartment was habitable when she signed and it's not his problem if she doesn't own furniture. She then tried to add Harmony to the lease to split rent. He reminded her that any changes require approval from all original lease signers, including me, even though I removed myself as occupant. I don't approve. The rent is $2,400. Celeste makes about $45,000 a year. After taxes, that's roughly $2,900 a month. Rent alone is now 82% of her income. Harmony contributes nothing because she needs to focus on her art. They're using inflatable mattresses from Target. The studio is now just an empty room with paint on the walls that will cost them their security deposit. Update 3. The spiral has been magnificent to watch from my comfortable, fully furnished apartment. Week 2, Celeste broke and asked her parents for money. They sent $500 for essentials. Harmony immediately spent $300 of it on new art supplies because the energy in the space demanded it. Celeste posted about it on social media. Then Dirty deleted when people started asking why art supplies were more essential than a bed. Week 3. I started getting emails from Harmony. Since I blocked her number, she created new email addresses. Some subjects: you're ruining 2 women's lives. This is probably illegal somehow. My therapist says you're a narcissist. What therapist? She has no insurance. Business proposal inside. It was her asking for $5,000 to invest in her art career. In exchange for 2% of her future sales. Then came the real escalation. Celeste filed a claim in small claims court. For what? Theft of shared property. An intentional infliction of emotional distress. She's seeking $10,000. Here's the thing about small claims court. You need evidence. Her evidence: photos of the empty apartment, and a statement that we were basically married so everything was communal property. My evidence: receipts for every single item. Bank statements showing I paid for everything. Texts from her admitting she couldn't afford furniture when we first moved in. The lease showing we're not married. Screenshots of her text saying, your TV, your couch, your kitchen stuff. Over 3 years. A particularly damning text from 2 years ago where she said, I love that you furnished everything. It's like living in a real adult apartment without the adult prices. LOL. My lawyer friend looked at it and literally said, this is the dumbest case I've ever seen. But here's where it gets really good. While preparing for court, I discovered something. Remember how I said Harmony's roommate situation fell through? I did some digging. Contacted the ex-roommate through social media. Turns out Harmony was evicted. 4. Not paying rent for 4 months. Damaging property. Painted the walls without permission. Running an illegal business. Selling art from a residential space violating the lease. Having people over at all hours for art parties. The ex-roommate sent me the eviction notice and photos of the damage. She's still trying to get $3,000 from Harmony in small claims. I forward all this to Celeste with the message, still want to go to court. Radio silence for 2 days. Then, can we just talk? Please? Final update. Court was yesterday. Yes, she actually went through with it. Celeste showed up in what I assume was her responsible adult costume. A blazer that didn't quite match her pants. Harmony was there too, in what can only be described as bohemian chaos. She had paint in her hair. Actual paint. At court. The judge looked tired before we even started. Celeste presented her case. We were together 3 years, lived together, that made us common law married, not in our state, so everything was communal property. She actually used the phrase, what's yours is mine, with a straight face. The judge, ma'am, do you have any documentation of shared ownership? Celeste, we shared everything. He knows this. That's not documentation. Then Harmony interrupted. Actually interrupted the judge to explain how I destroyed her livelihood and set back the art world by years. The judge asked her to sit down. She didn't. The bailiff had to escort her back to her seat. My turn. I presented. Every receipt, bank statements, the lease, text messages acknowledging my ownership, Harmony's eviction records. Judge found that very interesting. A timeline showing Harmony was supposed to stay 2 weeks and was there 6 months rent-free. The judge's ruling was swift. Case dismissed. Celeste owes me $1,200 in court costs. Recommended she consult a real lawyer before filing again. Told Harmony if she interrupted again, she'd be held in contempt. Outside the courthouse, Celeste tried one more time. Tears and everything. I loved you. How can you be so cold? You turned my office into an art studio without asking. It was just a room. It was my room in the apartment I was paying 67% of. Harmony needed it. Then Harmony should have rented it. She called me heartless and walked away. Harmony threw her coffee at my car. Missed completely. Hit some random person's windshield. That person was not happy. Last I saw, Harmony was exchanging insurance information while crying about how art is misunderstood. The aftermath. Got a text from Eleanor, Celeste's mom, last night. Apparently, Celeste and Harmony are breaking the lease and moving back home. The landlord is keeping the entire security deposit, $4,800, for the paint damage to the walls and early lease termination. Eleanor wanted to know if I'd reconsider this madness and help with the fee. I replied, no. She sent back, you've ruined both of their lives. I sent, they did that themselves when they turned my office into an art studio without permission. Blocked. The mutual friend who helped Celeste find my apartment, mystery solved, reached out to apologize. Apparently, Celeste told her I was having a mental breakdown and she was trying to help us reconcile. When she heard the real story, she was mortified. She said Celeste is telling everyone I'm abusive and controlling, but nobody's buying it anymore since Harmony posted a rant on social media, calling me and the judge enemies of artistic expression. And claiming the courtroom was spiritually oppressive. As for me, I'm great. My new apartment is peaceful. My office is set up exactly how I want it. I met someone at my coffee shop last week. She laughed when I told her the story and said, good for you for having boundaries. We're having dinner tomorrow. Celeste and Harmony moved back to Eleanor's house next week. Harmony's already posted about turning the garage into her new studio. Eleanor commented, absolutely not. The best revenge. I didn't have to do anything vindictive. I just stopped enabling their entitlement and let reality handle the rest. They wanted all the space. They got it. All of it. Every square foot of that empty, expensive apartment they couldn't afford. Turns out when you remove yourself from a toxic situation instead of fighting to fix it, the problem tends to solve itself. Catastrophically, in their case. But that's not my problem anymore. My office is perfect, by the way. Nobody's painted on these walls. Edit, since some of you asked, yes, this is legal. I took my property. The lease was structured so I could remove myself as occupant while she remained responsible. Always get everything in writing, people. Edit 2. The coffee shop woman. Her name's Quinn. She's a financial analyst. She owns her furniture. It's going well. Edit 3. Harmony started a fundraiser for artists oppressed by capitalism. She's raised $12. It's been 2 weeks.